Hi, Agni.
Hey.
Welcome aboard.
Hey, hi,
How's it
Vivek.
going?
It's a privilege.
It's so cool to sort of have you here and sort of share your expertise. For all the attendees, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We are officially recording the 8th episode of Virtual Office Hours at iZooto. And today we have with us Agniba from Sendex. Agniba is a founder at Sendex, and he's been dabbling, building, working on the email marketing platform for over 3 years and 3 quarters now, right? Agni, I'll let you introduce yourself, right, and then we'll dive into the talk itself.
Yep. Hey, hi guys. So I have graduated back in 2011 as a BTech computer science. The sheep and the goats out there. Yeah, just like everyone else who is also a BTech and from computer science, I have led my career into software engineering for the first 5-6 years of my life and my career life. So and after that, yeah, the entrepreneurship bug just hit me. I went into like a month and a half time away from everything, went to Porto, met a lot of guys from nomad experience, and then came back, started working with Varun and Mayank on Sendex, co-founders, and 2 years into the job, into the business rather, not the job, the business, we were still 4 people, and I think in the last 1 year is when we have made most progress, both in terms of revenues, understanding market, email deliverability as such, kind of customers, how to talk, how to sell, how to market, everything. So, yeah,
Awesome.
I've learned quite a lot from my peers as well. So I am just great. I'm feeling just great to be a participant or a panelist here. So says Zoom, right? So yeah, I'm excited to get comments, feedbacks, questions, and more followers on Twitter after this.
Awesome. So, Agni, I know for a fact that, so obviously you helped us sort out our email marketing and our email deliverability challenges as well, right? But let's sort of talk about the topic for a minute, right? I googled and I figured out that the first email ever was sent in 1971, right? Which is incredible, which makes email older than both of us, right? Yes. I mean, if email was a person, people would call it "Okay, boomer," right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, the fact is this, right? While a lot of people, keep on looking for cool marketing channels, TikTok and Snapchat and Insta stories, WhatsApp business and this and that. What has not changed, surprisingly, in the past, what now? 50 years, 50 years, almost close to 50 years. Almost 50 years, is the fact that email remains now. Most of the marketers that I know personally, right, swear by email. They say nothing beats performance of email marketing. Right? Despite the fact that every year somebody writes a post, email marketing dead this year? Is email marketing dead this decade? Is this the last year of email marketing? Right? What has not changed is that it just works. The damn thing works. However bad the opponents get, however bad email, however bad the CTRs get, right? Email marketing, just like the damn thing work. So what I want to talk to you today about is, so email marketing is what we do, right?
Right.
In the background runs this whole concept of email deliverability, right?
Yes.
Now, a lot of people, and email is one channel which is used by everybody in the organization, right? Not just as an individual, but also as teams, right? So product team would be sending out emails to customers, marketing team would be sending out emails to customers again, prospects again, sales team would be sending out emails aggressively to prospects again, right? How do we...
Beauty of this is, like when you say that every team is using their email in a different way, and like selling or providing feedback, providing follow-ups and things like that. Just notice how, when you say that, how these purposes are so different.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right? It's not meant for one thing. Yeah.
It's not meant for one thing. Correct. Yeah. One guy wants to deliver an invoice, but somebody else wants to deliver a sales pitch. Yeah. Right. So and then the question is this, right? Is email deliverability a problem statement for all of them? The answer is most likely no. But then does it impact every one of them?
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Right. So with that context, I'll sort of give it to you. Why don't you go ahead and sort of share your screen and tell us your magic, your secrets of email deliverability.
Yes. Let me just do that.
I'm going to turn off my video to sort of save us some internet bandwidth.
Yes.
Right? Perfect.
Let me know if my screen is visible.
I can see your screen now. Yes.
All right. I kept this as informal as possible, just by the name when Vivek said it's after office hours. So I would expect people to be almost yawning right now. So so the title is Email Deliverability in 2020. Yes, it is still a problem, and you might just be living under a rock. So just bring in context, extending what Vivek was just explaining, and thanks for bringing that out, that even after 50 years or so, email has remained something that's very personal. Nobody can actually get your email ID unless you have published it somewhere, even if you are on Gmail or on Outlook, Yahoo, name the service, and you can have an inbox there, but unless you reveal yourself out there in other media or other websites, your email still stays with you in your hand. You can you can make it behave or do things in it according to your personal likes and dislikes, right? So your spams are your spams, may not be somebody else's spams. Your promotional content is your promotional content, not somebody else's promotional content. It may be earning bread for somebody, and it may be just acting as daily information collection for people. So it's multiple different things for different people, and that's why it still stays personal. It still says that I am available when you need me. There are, daily I guess around about 250 mails a day. And I know a lot of people are worried about what the state of email is going to be this year, next year. Is it dead or not? But I think there are more and more measures getting added every year or every quarter, wherein your email is all the more personal for your, for your usage. So that's why email is still a very important marketing channel. And not just that, if you are getting marketed by the wrong people at the wrong time with the wrong message, there will be a certain time when soon enough those mails will be hitting spam. So so let's get into the problem. When I say spam, it directly deals with deliverability, and let's just start on that note, right? So if you are able to see my screen, so this especially if you're a business unit, whether you're doing sales, you're doing promotion, marketing, follow up with customers or whatever, are your mails getting delivered properly into people's inboxes where they need it? Or the right kind of tabs where people are checking for particular behavior. Like your promotions tab is meant for promotional content, right? It's not that if your mails go to promotions tab, that is going to get less open rate, but more often than not, when you're opening a promotions tab, you're actually looking for content to, uh, be to get sold to. Why do you open a promotions tab ever, right? You open it because you are looking for some deal out there. You probably have followed some people outside, some influencers, some companies who want you to buy some things from them, and that's when promotions tab actually works. As in, when you open the promotions tab and you're looking for deals out there, and you have a high intent of buying, that's when promotions tab actually works perfectly. There are updates tabs, there are meetings tabs, and multiple of those things right now. So they all serve their own purposes, and I think we should be more open to having mails delivered to promotions tab than not. So let me just dive into what things affect mails getting into inboxes of your customers. So as an industry standard, you probably have 2 to 3% bounces. By bounces, I mean either you have the wrong email IDs, or there are typos, there are email IDs which have got obsolete, email IDs whose domains have become obsolete, and etc. etc. So there definitely are 2 to 3% bounces in your contact list, in your entire contact list out there, and so they will never be receiving your mails. Then all inboxes, including being spearheaded by Google and Outlook, they are fighting hard against spam for the last 15 years. And if you are following something which is unethical or borderline spammy, and we'll come to that, your mails are likely hitting spam or not getting delivered at all, right? And we'll come to the reasons why spam happens, why your mails are not getting delivered right afterwards. So it also matters how you collect your email IDs on your website, get signups. Somebody who has come into your website, not given your mail ID, you somehow track them back. I remember Vivek last year showing, how they do their cold outbound process, and that was just fascinating. And those kind of are various ways of you getting an email and running behind them to market, to sell, to follow up after they've become customers and whatnot, right? So these things matter a lot, right? So the email inbox providers are changing their policies every 6 months now. I think 1st of April, 3 or 4 large inbox providers just change their policies to make spam policies more strict, and all of that can affect your inboxing from time to time. So
got it.
Yeah, so in just doing the sanity check, right, the first thing that comes in any person who is doing email marketing or checking email deliverability is authentication. So basically, like you said, email is a 50-year-old protocol, right? If you say that, and what drives it is something called SMTP, and that's an open protocol. Basically, I can pose as Vivek, I can pose as anybody out there as the president of the United States and send an email. The responsibility lies with the sender to make sure that nobody is able to scam them, phish them, send spam instead of them, right? You may be using a lot of tools, and so are millions of people out there, and somebody can simply say, I just want to send it from b@dataability.co and send a mail to 100,000 people as a bulk mail, because I want to get marketing done for the new 3D gun that I just made, right? And that can happen as a mass spam on dataability.co overnight, and you won't even know it. And if you are not aware of the authentication techniques and your security measures, then you could be getting largely spammed. So I think there's some.
We have a question right now, but then again we'll pick it up as we go along.
Yeah. So there are SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, which have had to be set up over years, for letting people be able to authenticate themselves so that they are not scammed or phished by hackers out there. Then, the latest being DMARC, which also allows you to track how many authenticated mails you're sending. And not just that, being able to control that, any unauthenticated mails but sent on behalf of me don't reach inbox ever. So this includes, mails that are sent from foreign IPs. So every mail is sent from an IP address, a sending IP address. And if it is an IP address that you have not allowed to send from, nobody can send it from that IP, right? If you have not put in the correct authentication DKIM, then nobody can actually spoof you, because they don't even know what keys they need to provide. So nobody can spoof you there. So these are kind of authentication.
So you're saying that these are extremely important?
Yes, these are extremely important. So even just showing your mail that I think you sent day before yesterday to us, I was just checking that and in seeing that dataability.co currently does not have an SPF record. So basically, if somebody, by chance gets a hand of the DKIM, keys, they can actually.
Very interesting, right? Because we actually have been, right? There have been people who have been attempting this at my end, on our employees as well, right? Asking them to, reply to certain emails or, make some payments immediately, faking as, as the founders, right? So, okay. So here is a lesson straight away, right? We're going to action this right after this call. Set up a SPF record for our main parent domain. Okay. So, thank you so much.
Basically, if I know that you've been sending mails from, say, HubSpot, I know that you've been sending mails from HubSpot. I create another account on HubSpot with some dataability.co domain as the sending domain. And if there is something wrong in their, validation or support, then I can fake myself as Vivek and start sending for dataability.co and send mass mails. So I'm just saying.
Okay, so we're on the third slide right now, and you're already scaring me. But again, the good thing is, on the third slide, I have already got an insane amount of value already, right? So yeah, so thanks for that.
Now comes to something that I think every email marketer knows by name, but they are just they just have a shrugged shoulder. So bounces, bounces basically mean they are either invalid mails, wrongly configured mail addresses, somebody who has say given a typo in their mail address while submitting forms inside your website or signing up. And not just that, if you had curated mails from somewhere or had somebody collect mails for you, a lot of reasons, right? So for you to get wrong email addresses, and how do they affect your email reputation? Quite a lot, actually. So when I said 2 to 3% is the industry standard, what if you exceed that, right? So what if you're collecting a lot of email addresses, 10% wrong email IDs out of your entire database? Then that means if you're sending a bulk email to all of them, there's a high likelihood that less than 60% of your mails are getting delivered. Okay, so let that just sink in. Basically, you are penalized for the 10% miss that you have in your database, with extra 30% of mails not getting delivered, at least. So that's something that you need to keep in check time to time. See that your email marketing tool has a means of telling you or suppressing these hard bounces. If there are emails which look like, something of a uh, deformed mail ID, or a mail ID with a gmai.com or something very similar to Gmail but not exactly Gmail, right? These could be a source of a spam trap again. Like, what's a spam trap? Basically, you send mails to these email IDs time and again, and suddenly your IP address from which you have been sending mails gets blacklisted on the global blacklist, right? So that is another problem. So this is why bounce checks need to be in place wherever possible, and you should be more aware of even the risky email IDs where you don't know whether they'll deliver or not. There are multiple tools for checking these email IDs. If you want, I can give you a list of them, but I'll just continue on track. So the other kind of bounces are soft bounces. Basically, somebody's email inbox is full. They are not able to receive mails right now. Then there are, again, misconfigured email IDs. Maybe somebody who has just started their domain email inboxes and it's not configured properly. They might be getting, soft bounces. When you're suddenly sending too many emails, right? Like, if you have been normally sending a few hundred emails on a daily basis and suddenly you are sending to 15,000 mails, that's a big question mark, as in, where are these mails coming from? And these mails tend to go through a soft bounce. And also, if you are somewhere, in your marketing, um, uh, if you're collecting some mails without users opted in form, then those are considered as unsolicited mails. There are AIML working on Gmail and Outlook to precisely understand user behaviors and know if people have previously filled up forms in your website, have been constantly in touch with you or not. And if you are sending too many mails which are unsolicited, your mails might not even reach the inboxes. So what happens in case of a hard bounce and a soft bounce, right? In a hard bounce, basically, a receiving server, if I'm Gmail, I say that, stop sending me mails now. Stop sending this email ID mails anymore. I'll not be accepting any more mails from you. Soft bounces are more of a relaxed basis, basically saying that, I think there's something wrong with this email ID right now. Can you try sometime later? So, uh, so basically, soft bounces are generally retried in your uh, in your email marketing tool or an email inbox like Gmail. So they would be tried multiple times before they finally say, I give up, and they, attempt only after a few days or a month. So those are bounces right there. And yeah, be sure to clean your lists before you start sending mails. Uh, that's the underlying action item for every email marketer, right? So when I mentioned blacklist, so globally there are around 250 blacklists which a lot of email inbox providers, refer to while delivering mails in their domain. So not all of them are as effective and not on all domains. So there are specific ones for specific domains, and some who are over and above these blacklists and have their own, mechanism of detecting spam, have built some kind of blacklist on their own, like Gmail. So out of these 250, around 40 to 50 are the most important ones, where even if you get listed once, then your mail delivery can get affected by more than 40 to 50%. 60 to 70%. When your mails stop delivering, period. Right? And there is no other explanation to it. If suddenly your mail volume, even if the mail volume and your authentication, everything is remaining the same, but you got into a blacklist, that can suddenly start affecting your mail deliverability. So, and some of them may not get directly delisted. And if you are getting listed into some of the really painful ones, your email marketing tool itself can ban you from there, from using them at all, right? So I remember where in our starting days, like we had a very large customer who used to get very frequently listed, and we were using SendGrid and Mailgun at that point, and we just got thrown out of both. So not a happy experience at all, right? So yeah, do check these blacklists from time to time uh, from the link that I have marked here. I think Vivek, if you can just share.
Yeah, of course. I'll have the deck shared with everybody as well. Right?
Yeah,
I have the email IDs. So yeah,
correct. Sure. All right. So let's just continue. I think. All right. Whether it be Indian, American, Russian, Nigerian, person in Philippines, nobody, in my experience, running an email marketing tool for the last 3.5 years, has come back and said that I'm spamming. Okay, nobody is spamming their customers. So, so what happens is that a lot of these are behavior driven. You have a right in front of your your inbox whenever you see a mail. So it's just a click of a button away. When you don't like a mail received by you, maybe at the wrong time for wrong reason, or maybe you have not, opted in for receiving mails like these. But just remember that, when you're sending mails, if 1 in 2,000 mails is getting marked, you will likely get considered as a spammy sender, right? What does a spammy sender mean? That after a few days or a few weeks, will most likely start hitting the spam box. At which point you will start suddenly seeing dips in your email open rates, which is like the most referred to metric marketing. Uh, the engagement starts from somebody opening your email, and that's probably the most important action that a user does, and that is right. At least reading what you have to say. So, and if that suddenly decreases or gradually decreases over time to a rate which was, 10x or 15x before, and it's 1x right now, then this could be one large reason why. There are like a lot of reasons, and I don't want to mention all of them. Some most important ones being what you're sending as content, who are you sending to, the segments of your list, and the time at which you're sending them. Is it actually relevant to the user? And all of marketing today is inclining more towards the relevance of your relevance of your content with time and with the right people. So say just giving you a movie reference of the movie Contagion, right, which was released in 2011 or 12 or something like that, which would have got miserable ratings back then when people didn't even understand that this can happen. And when this really happened, and exactly the way they said it happened, now everybody is watching Contagion, right? At home, and with curiosity that, this could be us. So timing matters. Yeah. Then comes the problem which, Vivek was mentioning, means with different messaging at different times.
There is some lag in the video and you're breaking up occasionally. Okay. Do you mind pausing the video so that we can just go through the slides and have the audio in the background? Right? Because you're breaking up at times. But yeah, okay, this is, I hope this is fine.
All right. Yeah. All right. Is it better now?
Yes, much better. The quality is better.
Yeah. All right. So, so basically, when Vivek asked me for the first time, right, like our mails are hitting spam. My first question was, which mails are hitting spam? Are your transactional mails hitting spam? Are your promotional mails?
All right, we again lost you there. So I'll fill in this part on the question. Actually, depending upon when you come back, we encountered a problem personally at iZooto wherein a lot of our brands, a lot of our internal emails were hitting spam. If I would email, let's say Shrikant, and my email would suddenly be flagged as dangerous, which did not make sense to us. That why is this happening in the first place? And this is exactly when Agni helped us to break down the problem into smaller pieces. Is he back? Agni, are you back? Okay, I think he dropped off completely now. Anyways, so while he again tries to join the webinar, what Agni had proposed us initially was to first identify what all kinds of communication are we doing as a company with our users. Hey, Agni.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, no, this happens all the time. That's okay.
Yeah.
Happens on every single webinar I've been to ever. Right. Okay. Somebody drops off. That's okay. Why don't we go ahead and flash your slides again? I was just talking about the problem that you had to solve and the approach that you had taken with us. And just fill in whenever you feel like.
Yeah.
So Agni had helped us identify. Okay, so you're sending out you're using your main domain, which is iZooto.com, to send out emails to your customers for marketing. You're using your same domain to send out chat messages, right? Using your chat conversation tool, right? Then you're using the same domain to send out emails to potential buyers, right, or your prospects. Then you're using the same email to send out your invoices, your payment updates to your customers. Then you're using the same email for your internal communication as well.
And that's just tragic, right? When if somebody comes and tells you that, okay, like I received my invoice or my bill in my spam.
Yeah, no, it actually happened, right? One of our customers never received their invoices for past 3 months, because of which our payments got stuck, right? So it's a legit problem. It's a legit problem which impacted us, really, really badly. So So in fact, why don't you go ahead and talk about the solution which you implemented for us. Yeah.
So say 5 or 10 years back, what email marketers or experts in this domain would have suggested you is that customers and leads and prospects and whoever out there who wants to get affiliated with you, knows you by your brand name. So if it is iZooto, then you can have iZooto, iZootomarketing.com, iZootoaffiliations.com, iZoototransactions.com, iZootoletters.com, right? And you would have 5 domains there. And that was the norm. Even if you remember, old Flipkart days, Flipkart used to send mails from Flipkart letters, Flipkart marketing, and God knows what. There were a lot of domains out there. And that was the norm because there were not stipulated means of, educating, senders as to what to do, how to separate these concerns. As in, do you want to send, Diwali offers? Do you want to send their shipment updates, or do you want to send something else? So they had, different teams working on different domains and sending different kinds of mails to people. Things have changed now, thankfully. So you can maintain your brand name, say iZooto, saying mails from iZooto.com, and not dilute your brand name, but you are allowed to send different kinds of mails through different subdomains, which means that your transactional mails can go from say billing.iZooto.com or transactions.iZooto.com. Your promotional marketing mails can go from marketing.iZooto.com, your sales, success, affiliations, etc. Whatever teams that you have inside your company, they can have their own subdomains, which do not affect other subdomains in the same domain. And this, if you don't do this, what can eventually happen is that your personal mails, like what Vivek would be sending to me personally, right? Those mail getting into spam or never reaching inboxes at all, that's just gone, right? You're dead as a person, right? So just taking care of those separately, as in your personal mails can still go from iZooto.com. Everything else has their own subdomains. This actually kind of works like a charm. I think whoever has implemented this on my suggestion or otherwise has come back and said that this works. I would be, I am still waiting for the first person to come back and say that, okay, I'm still having the same kind of problems.
Oh yes, yeah, hell yes. This works a lot. This works really well.
Yeah. The problem with email sending right now is that, for all of these things to take effect, it takes a few days to a few weeks to actually work properly. As in, you cannot start sending to 100,000 mails from day one. Even if you are, going on to a trusted new email marketing service, you'll have to give, mails time to ramp up, warm up. You'll have to have, these checks and segregations properly done. But then they work. I mean, if you are following this to the T, then I don't see a problem where you'd be facing, non-deliverability issues on, say, your transactional mails or your sales mails because of something that you sent on your marketing mails a few days back. So yeah, so that's how we kind of have been consulting with people and suggesting them to change their approach according to the latest mechanisms available. Right? Then, yeah, so just a checklist of what else you can do, to make sure that everything else is buttoned up. There is a comprehensive email deliverability guide, a guide for users who are sending more than 100,000 email IDs, mails over a month. Then there are email marketing experts who help in not just deliverability, but also the general format of your mail, what works, what kind of template works, what kind of messaging works, what who uh, who can use email marketing and who not, and all those kinds of suggestions and directives. I think you'll find in quite a few of these email marketing experts. One of them who I follow is Blacklists, and she seems to have had a good last 2 years, I would say. So yeah, and again, just to check all the forms that you have set up on your website, if they are correctly integrated with your tools, whether it's a sales tool or a marketing tool. Like those are the things that you should keep a check whenever you change something on your backend or on your marketing tool. Right? So yeah,
This is helpful. We'll just sort of take one question that we have right now.
Yeah.
This is from Venkat. Venkat is saying, do all email service providers mark someone as spam or block them if they send too many irrelevant emails to almost anyone?
Okay, so first things first, if you are sending, say, to 10,000 mails in a bulk, right, you are going to get blocked, no matter what. If these people have never received a mail from you, if you're doing a bulk mailing, then you are going to get blocked eventually. Like within the first 2,000, 3,000 mails, Gmail. If I'm a Gmail or an Outlook, I will know that mails have never come from this mail ID or this domain before to these many people, and I have been having an account of these people, and you just can't send them mails like that, right? They'll be like permanently deferring your mails, or blocking you at some point, or marking your IP in some blacklist at some point. Now, if you have been doing some warm-up slowly and have been sending relevant information to people who are, probably reading your mails as well. So what I would look at is that if your open rates are good and if your spam percentage is lower than 0.05%, then that is a healthy balance of, spam and volume for you, and you can send mails to those domains. But if there is a problem with the volume or the number of spams that you've collected, then this can end up, blocking your mails or sending your mails to spam.
I click okay. Besides just bad content, what is a campaign killer? That's a question that we have from Sumit. Yeah.
Okay. If you like I said again, firstly, if you are on a bad IP or have been sending from a bad domain, if your domain reputation or your IP reputation or your authentication, these are going off, then it could kill your campaign. It doesn't always have to be that your content is bad. Even if you have a first-class content with relevant information for people, say you're in a pandemic right now, you have COVID awareness programs that you want to spread across, say, the entirety of Delhi. If you are a government, even then your mails might get into spam, your mails might get blocked because of all the reasons that I mentioned. So they can actually kill your campaign.
We'll let go of Agni. Agni, thank you so much for this. Very insightful, very important details that people that even people miss all the time. I know for a fact that the first thing I'm going to do after the webinar is go back to our domain provider and set up our SPF record on the main domain, right? Yeah. How did I not do that? I don't understand this.
I mean, it's just a mistake I think almost everybody makes.
Everybody does.
Yeah. We had been making that mistake for over 2 years. So. And we were an email marketing company, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Shit happens. Perfect, Ravi. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.